Hey everyone, I'm Nina Zeta with Sidewalker Daily, and in today's video, I want to talk about influencer marketing in 2021. What can we expect seeing in this industry? What are some changes that are going to be happening so that we can all be prepared, both influencers and brands? If you're new to our channel, welcome. I love to talk about all things influencer marketing and social media. Just to give those newbies a quick little intro on myself, I have worked with many brands on their influencer marketing campaigns, and I also work with influencers now, helping them build their businesses. So we often like to say we're on both sides of the equation. So this video, influencer marketing trends for 2021, really is going to cover for both my brand clients and my influencer clients. So I'm going to try to speak to both of you when I'm speaking in this video. Before I jump into all the tips that I want to share with you today of what I think is going to happen in our industry, make sure you subscribe to our channel if you have not already. Hit that little bell so you can be notified of the videos that we produce weekly for you guys on all things influencer marketing. Okay, so today, let's start with the first big trend that I think that we're going to be seeing in 2021. Numbers are not going to matter as much. So what do I mean by this? Back in the day, or at least a few years ago, brands were new to influencer marketing. They were still getting their feet wet, and they were really impressed by these big followers and big, vanity metrics. That's what we tend to call it on the brand side. But I think brands are starting to realize more and more it's really about finding an influencer whose audience matches the brands. The more niche, the better. So let me put in perspective. If I had a product and I really wanted someone to work with an influencer to produce my product and to get it out there and promote it, I would probably be better off working with someone in a more specialized niche that does maybe product reviews, that has a dedicated channel or audience that really is interested in learning about products. This would be a captivating audience, right? Versus maybe someone who just has a lot of numbers, but overall maybe their target audience or their audience of the influencers doesn't match the brands. So we are going to be seeing a big increase in the micro influencers, a big increase in the nano influencers. If you're interested to learn more about nano influencer marketing, I'm going to put a video right here so that you guys can go watch it later and learn all about nano influencers, because this is something that's also happening in our industry. So with that said, we are going to see an increase of specialized niches. So influencers used to just kind of be like, I'm a travel influencer, I'm a beauty influencer, but now we're carving it down even more. Okay, what type of beauty do you cover? Is it like vegan beauty? Are you a vegan beauty influencer and only talk about certain products? Sustainable beauty? Are you commercial beauty? Are you focusing on drugstore products? What does your audience come to you for? And the more as an influencer you know this, the more true influence you'll be able to have, and more brands will want to work with you. And to my brand clients, you guys make sure that you are looking for influencers that have the audience that you want. So trend number one, numbers are going to be less of a focus. For my second trend, this one is a little bit Instagram specific, but we do see lots of influencers playing on Instagram. This second trend is all about less focus on posts and creating different variety of assets. So what do I mean? We're gonna see a lot more sponsored reels. We're gonna see a lot more sponsored Instagram lives. We're gonna see brands working with influencers in different ways than just, hey, can you post something and talk about my product? With all the new features that Instagram is rolling out, we have Instagram guides. We're gonna see influencer marketing trickle into these new features so that the content is, again, more authentic, more realistic, focuses more on storytelling. So I think brands are going to start also going to influencers and asking what type of content on Instagram can I get besides just a static post? And with this said, I think we're also going to see a lot of influencer marketing not only being on Instagram, but trickle to other platforms. So this could be like sponsoring an influencer Zoom call. Maybe it's a private wine tasting that she's doing on a live. Maybe it's influencer, working with an influencer on some sort of private Patreon only event where the brand is sponsoring something really behind the scenes. Again, this is getting creative. So influencer marketing, while a lot of times there was a big focus on posts and static posts, which are just Instagram posts on the feed, we're going to start seeing a lot more influencer style content outside of posts. This trend can also be linked to the huge rise that we've seen in TikTok. So influencers used to just play on Instagram, right? When we thought of Instagram, it's like, these are where the influencers are at. Well, not anymore. TikTok has completely created a new wave of influencers, which leads to my third trend, focusing on the content, not the creator. So TikTok basically came into this market, really upped its presence in 2020 and really took over when it came to influencer marketing. Now, what TikTok did, which I have to give them credit for, is it developed this new way of enjoying and consuming content. So back in the day, it was all the influencer was all like me, and about the creator. But now it's no longer about the creator. It's not about the influencer. It's about the content that they make. The content is now the focus. And you can see this on TikTok, right? Because when you're scrolling on TikTok, you're going to start saying, oh my God, I love this video, or I love this content, but you don't even care who the creator is that did it, right? It's just, is the content engaging or not? Is the content creative or not? So a big trend I think we're going to see trickle into Instagram as well as influencer marketing is a focus on the content. How creative is the content? This is a type of assets that brands are going to start wanting their influencers to create, and we talked about this a little earlier when we said we're going to see sponsored reels. Yeah, you're going to see sponsored reels, but they're going to be in that TikTok style that are super highly engaging and just really creative overall. Now for my next trend that I think that we're going to start seeing in influencer marketing, I think we're going to see a lot more long form relationships versus one-off static posts and one-off sponsored posts. So hear me out. We saw a lot of, what I call the one night stand approach when it came to influencer marketing. People just pay for a post, the influencer posts it, and that's it. But influencers, they want to work with brands in a longer built out capacity. They're willing to kind of give some leeway on their pricing in the beginning, but they're doing it with the hopes to build out a longer, relationship. And brands too. Brands are starting to enjoy working with influencers in this sort of headspace versus just like mass, is working and cultivating longer term relationships. Now with this trend, I think it's really important to note, this is equally as tied to, I think we're going to see a lot less freebies. Influencers are clearly valuing themselves as they should be, understanding that, free swag doesn't pay the bills. So brands, it's going to be, the days of being able to ask influencers to just review your product for free, those days I think are going to be very limited, and rightfully so, because they're working hard to produce content and they should be paid for such. I've never seen an industry that expects people to work for free actually as much as you see in the influencer industry. And I think this is going to be a big trend, a big shift that's happening. Influencers are now able to monetize in different ways than working with brands, right? Like influencers are creating their own products, their own shops. They're doing affiliate marketing. They're not even doing free posts for themselves anymore, right? So they're posting a pair of jeans, but they're trying to, swipe up to shop it. They want that affiliate sale. This is now becoming like a business for them and a livelihood. So it's nothing personal to the brand partners. It's just, there is this monetization mindset. Influencers are coming into the market to make a business out of it. And that's why we're going to see these long-term relationships build, because maybe, the pricing is flexible in the first couple of posts and then they grow into, more retainer-based clients, like where influencers are now working with brands, in a more serious long-term contract. Again, not just one, here and there. Now, I do think it's important to note for the brands that are watching this, and for anyone really, that working with each other is a value-based exchange. It's all about the value you are providing. Everything is really case by case, right? So if a travel brand or a hotel is offering a room at $1,000 a night to an influencer, and the influencer is posting what would be worth $1,000 equivalent in an ad spend, then it's fair. But then if the influencer is asked to spend, create 25 or 300 photos or drone shots underwater, things that would take a huge budget and a huge photo budget to pull off, that's when there's a little bit of an unequal. So a really great partnership is when there's an equal trade of value. So it's not to say that influencers, you're not going to find influencers that are going to want to collaborate, to review, to keep their expenses down by doing free swag. We're always going to see there be, people that are accepting gifted offers, and that's just part of the game. But I do think that there is going to be a shift that now, we need to pay to play. And it's funny because I used to hear from the brand clients so much being like, oh, influencers are always asking for free stuff. And now I hear it from the influencers being like, oh, brands are always asking for free stuff. So it's almost like the balance of power is shifting a little bit. Now, with this said, I do think brands are going to be expecting more performance-based style of marketing. So maybe the payment structures will shift. Maybe there's a little bit more of like, okay, what influence do you really bring to the table? Brands are also not looking for likes and comments. It depends obviously on what the brand's goals are, but if a brand is looking to push sales, like that's what they're going to try to measure it for. So influencers will really need to have influence to be able to have that really strong relationship with a brand that they're looking to do. Now, I did want to say before I jump into my next trend that if you are on the brand side and you're looking for some one-on-one help on developing your influencer marketing strategy, I'm going to leave a link to work with me and my team below. We can help you iron out and craft your strategy, your plan for 2021, and that way you guys can be all settled when you're figuring out which influencers you want to work with, who's a good fit for you, and all that good stuff. Okay, so now let's jump into our next trend. I think in influencer marketing, we're going to see a lot more influencers run ads. Yes, influencers are going to be running ads now for their brand partners. We're going to see ads being run natively, and we're also going to see a lot of whitelisting. So let me explain. Natively is when the influencer is just boosting the post on their own with the brand's budget. And whitelisting is a little bit more complicated. Whitelisting is when the brand basically has access to the influencer's content, and they're able to tweak captions, they're able to put an ad budget behind it, they're able to boost the post. Maybe it's including different, promotions that are going on. This is a very new phenomenon that we're seeing happening in the brand space, where brands are, using influencer posts as paid social. And I think we're going to see a lot more of this in 2021. Influencers, and what this means, guys, is like just looking on your screen, you're going to see an ad coming from an influencer, and you're going to think the influencer is running the ad, but actually the brand is the one paying to run the ad on their behalf using their photo, maybe their content. So this is something we definitely all want to keep an eye on. Now, my next trend I love for my influencer clients, because I think this is a really great way for you guys to monetize. We are going to see influencers being brought behind the scenes more. So what does this mean? This is going to be influencers as creative directors, influencers as, production, influencers as consultants. The thing is, brands want to work with influencers because influencers are creative and cool and know how to make really cool stuff, right? And have, a strong audience and a strong influence. But now these decision makers, the influencers, are going to be brought into roundtable conversations with the marketing team. They're going to be kind of more of a thought leader, of an expert. And this is super exciting for influencers, especially when they're trying to pitch to brands and work with brands in that longer term contract, that trend that we spoke of earlier. This is a great way for them to monetize outside of just posting, that static post. And if you are an influencer and you need a little help fleshing this out, I'm also going to leave a link below for ways that you guys can work with me and we can help refine your pitch so that you can pitch these types of jobs, because these jobs are really exciting. When we're pulling influencers, no longer you're doing static posts, but you're doing more big creative thinking, which is super cool. Similarly, as another trend, we're starting to see businesses bring in their own staff and make them influential and make them into influencers. So what I mean by this is you're going to see companies, rather than maybe investing in influencer marketing, maybe they're going to, set up a podcast for their CEO, or an Instagram channel for their CEO, or, a YouTube channel for their CEO, or maybe their marketing director. They're going to take the people that know the product inside and out, that know the brand inside and out, and help develop their social media influence, make them more likable, put them online more, have them show up on stories. This is going to be super interesting, and we're seeing brands do this already at a very high rate. Rather than going to influencers, they're building out their staff within and trying to make them influencers themselves. So really cool trend and really big. Okay, so for my last trend for influencer marketing, and for those of you that have made it this far, awesome. I'm so excited for you because I personally love this trend and I think it's going to be really big, and we're going to see it flesh out a lot in 2021. So this trend is all about brand Activism. An Accenture strategy study found that over 60% of consumers want brands to stand behind something. People are, especially when it comes to social justice, maybe environmentalism, and big, societal topics, people want brands that they love and care about to take a stand. And we're seeing more and more of this. So I think we're going to start seeing influencer marketing in spaces that we're not used to seeing it. Maybe in, bringing in activists and giving them a platform. Brands are going to be aligning with, local communities, people that are making a difference, and bringing them to the table. And I think as, just overall having some sort of give back as part of your influencer marketing strategy is super, super important, because this is where the industry needs to go. Especially brands that are looking to develop their influencer marketing strategy, they need to have something built in about giving back, about inclusivity, diversity, and really having this at the top of, of the agenda of influencer marketing. We needs to be more diverse. It needs to have representation, because it really does matter. And people are excited by seeing brands who are taking a stand and bringing in, local community leaders and lifting them. So in terms of influencer marketing, guys, we're going to see a lot of this. And I hope brands continue to take a stand for what is right. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Like I said, there's tons of different ways that we can work together. Also, for my influencers, guys, I have an amazing course for you, an engagement course that helps you on your Instagram engagement and your Instagram authenticity. It is life-changing, like this comment just said, and I really think that you guys will benefit from it. So I will leave a link below for you as well. Anyways, leave me a comment. Let me know what you think about these influencer marketing trends in 2021. Do you agree? Do you not? Are there other trends that I'm missing? I want to hear from you. I love reading my comments, so definitely leave me one. And I will see you guys in the next video.